In a world that's just not fair, it's my YouTube channel, but for some reason most of the Patreon people support John. So if you'd like to support John, we'll post a link in Patreon down below, but here's a Patreon supporting John video. We need to hook up the electrical in order to be able to put a battery in this and start it. And what we're going to do is we have the absolutely adorable condition switch that came with it. Yeah, packing from Taiwan, not so good. Along with our charging battery cables that have giant mashed chunks in them that wasn't even anywhere near the engine in the packaging, so good job there. But what we're going to do is grab some 4-wire trailer wire. We've done this on several other engines in the past, and we're going to grab the 4 wires that come out of the switch. We're going to extend them. We're going to throw the switch into the dash, and then we've got to come up with a battery. So what I was thinking was that we could use one of these EBL batteries because it's 150 cranking amps, it's lithium, and it is insane category tiny. Like, that's massively tiny. But the problem is lithium doesn't like water. So I came up with a solution for that in my junkyarding too. So lithium doesn't like water, and John has a habit of being a hoarder and refusing to get rid of toys. So what I found was John's old Army Man set from when he was like 4 that's been living on a shelf of, no, Dad, I'm going to play with it someday. Go ahead, open it. It's even got like the tank and everything in there.
I don't... Where did you
pop it
this?
open? Yep. So I think we can bolt that in underneath the dash or make a couple of brackets. That'll give something that's waterproof.
It smells absolutely horrific.
So the tank is about the same size as the battery. So that'll go in there. And maybe we can put a plywood top or something over it so that the top of it can be used for stashing a couple of cords or cables or tools or something like that. And while John's working on fabbing that up, I've got stuff for the carburetor here. So I've ordered up the YAMAKATO 212 drop-in jet kit that comes with a whole bunch of them, just in case. But the real reality is I'm probably just going to drill the stupid thing out. What happens when you go to a stage 1 filter and then you go to a straight exhaust pipe on all of these is they almost all have to jump 1 jet size, sometimes 2, depending on the quality of the jets that were in it to begin with. So this thing will only run on half choke, anything else it dies, so we've got to up the jet size. No, you cannot play with them right now. You have to finish the tractor. There we go. Just some 4-wire trailer harness that you can buy in bulk online. I did notice, and I've seen this on a lot of these really cheaper units, that for some reason they have 2 white wires coming out of the switch. So what I do is I take a permanent marker and I just douse the snot out of the side of one of the white wires. That way when I slice it in the center of where I marked it, I know what goes to what when I go to put it back together. Easy enough. Alright, here's the keys to your ride. We're all pimp my riding going on here. But I did all the wiring. We're going to see if we end up with white smoke coming out. We've got the EBL just sitting up here. We've put in our 4-wire trailer harness. And John's been trying to do some fabrication, but he's not the best at the whole grinder welder thing. Yeah, look at those lovely corners. But it's your first one you've ever tried to make for a battery box, or, well, in this case, a box holder thing. So we're not going to judge you too hard here. Anyways, enough talking. Give it a crank. Push in, then turn. Alright, hold up. I'm gonna bet it probably needs choke because I still haven't done the... I still have not done the jets. Choke's in a bad spot. Go for it. There we go. Give it a couple of revs. There we go. Cole, shut it down before that battery falls down. There. Oh, does that make you feel better?
Yeah.
Cool.
I started it.
Good. Okay. Now, get your bracket done so we have a box to put all my hard work in. One booger weld at a time, you're learning.
That sounded healthy.
Yeah, no, that didn't sound healthy. In all honesty, it should sound like bacon cooking when it's running correctly. That did not sound like bacon. That sounded like Back to the Future bad animation. But again, big thank you to the Patreons. You guys bought the welding gloves for John and the helmet for John. Also, shout out to our new favorite $100 welder. Well, technically they're actually like $135, but they can use 220 and 110, and they do stick welding and flux core. And what's really interesting about this is that the stick welding is done through a different port. So you can literally just leave everything connected for both of them. Awesome little welder. I'll post a link in the description. John, on the other hand, is going to go back to booger welding his mount on. Yeah. Have at. You're flinching, dude. I can see it. You've got to hold steady and not pull back. That's why I can see all that wire coming out every time you set it off. Welding is really weird because everything in your mind is programmed to get the hell away from fire. And when you weld, you have to do the opposite and get closer. So when you go to pull the trigger, sometimes it's easier just to try and teach yourself to press in a little bit.
Okay.
All right, go for it. That started sounding good. You almost had the bacon sound. Good job, bud. Get it all done. I gotta do this quickly because apparently my cheap screwdriver is actually getting eaten by the gasoline. But one of the easy ways I've found to do this is a pair of pliers, your hand, and push it up into the jet and then turn in order to pop that jet loose. Now, there is a venturi that's in underneath the jet, and sometimes it'll stick and stay there, and other times it'll drop out and go ding-da-ding-ding into na-na land. So pay attention when you pop this jet out. Or the jet might not even drop out like it's supposed to, which happens a lot too. Come on, drop out. There it goes. And that's why we had a bucket underneath. Yeah, the dollar store screwdriver is like, look at the strands coming off of it. The gas ate it. That's so disgusting. Straight to the trash can. I'll post a link for this drill bit set down below, but it's simple. Basically, you just go up and down and make sure you hit the last one that it actually fits. Then when you go to do the next jump and it doesn't fit, that's your size you're going to drill to. Now, do keep in mind these are about 1.5 jump in size, so if you want precision, I recommend going on nrracing.com and ordering jet kits. On today's pro tip, pick a bucket that doesn't apparently have a hole in it when you're trying to save the gasoline. Yeah, baka. Alright, doors are open. That must mean it's test drive time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so We've got the battery in there. We've got the false floor made with the foam from the packaging. We grabbed a leftover chunk that I failed at laser cutting with, but it cuts up and makes a perfect false floor. So there's that. And now choke is off and the jet kit is in. Should be able to start it. That Chinesium key is hateful.
It is.
There you go. That's much nicer than me having to pull on it 5 times. I'm glad we fixed that. Yeah, give it a burp. There we go. Alright, let's close this. And go ahead and drop her in reverse and get the hell out of my garage. I got work to do. Now this still has the governor in it. How fast does it actually go now if you take a full throttle takeoff? Because I know it's slower now than it was with the Predator, because the Predator would turn 4,400. This only turns 36. Got it figured out? That's because you gotta burp it. You gotta hold it over and burp the clutch. There it goes. Yeah, that's plenty fast. I'd say that was a good investment doing that. Alright, go take it for a ride around and we'll work on the next project.